what I learned the most from my entire experience with LongWalk was on my level 3 trip, a week-long backpacking trip out in Colorado. And for that, I was the assigned leader for the very last day of our trip. And that was the day we had to hike back to our the parking lot to drive out to town to get home in time. And so for that, we were a little ahead of schedule on that last day. And some of the kids were wanting to get to the parking lot as soon as possible, even though our pickup time was 1 p.m. And so I had to convince people to stop early, while we still had the nice scenery. And for that, being in Boy Scouts, I was used to, like, whenever telling people to do something, like give an order, like we need to stop for lunch or whatever, people would just do that. But being in a group of people that you weren't previously acquainted with, they didn't really want to do that initially. They just wanted to get to the parking lot as time. So I had to really stop and think of, how do I convince people that don't think the way I do, I guess, or don't have the same experiences, how to get them to listen. And so I had to explain to them that, we can either wait for an hour in the parking lot, or we can wait for an hour at this mountain ridge overlooking the valley and look at the nice scenery that we won't be able to see again for quite some time. And so just being able to think about how to become a better leader, and know that you need to think about why, when you give an order, think about why you're doing it and explain that. And that was a really eye-opening thing for me, because I had really had to do that in the past. And so now, 5 years later, I'm still using that example. Yeah, I just started my job, so I'm not in a leadership position quite yet, but I'll definitely do that from now on. And, I explain the reasons why I'm giving an employee a task. I went to school at the University of Tulsa for my undergrad and graduate degree in accounting, and now I'm working at a CPA firm called Grant Thornton.